In this video, I'm going to try some woodland photography in the fall in a park really close to my new house. Let's get started. Well, good morning. I woke up this morning at a normal time, because I'm usually up pretty early, and I looked outside and it was kind of dreary and foggy. And I thought, what better weather to go do some woodland photography? So I came to a place called Mianus, I think it's Mianus River Park. It's literally 5 minutes from my house. And I have a new house, so I'm exploring the area, but this is super close. And so I'm gonna make my way around here and see if I can create some pretty cool images. Still some good colors on the trees and some nice soft little morning light filtering down. So see what I could do. Well, I don't do a lot of woodland photography. I think the big challenge is finding a composition, because I'm looking around and it looks beautiful. You can see behind me, it's just wonderful colors. There's kind of this light mist in the air. That doesn't make it a great photo though. And so I'm gonna challenge myself, hopefully to find a good composition to create some really nice images that really represent how beautiful this place is. Well, one nice thing about this park is that there is a river that runs through it. It's not a movie. River runs through it. Book. I should know. Put a comment down below if I'm remembering something wrong. So it does give you an opportunity to shoot some flowing water and stream. And we'll see. There might be something there or something on the trails. But I keep branching off and checking out the stream, which is very pretty, but again, I got to find a great composition. The challenge I'm finding is, while it's beautiful, it is sort of what I'll call messy. There's a lot of trees. There's a massive trees, and it's hard to isolate one scene or one tree. You know, while in back of me looks pretty, that's not a photo. And so I'm gonna keep going. If you're seeing this video, it means I got at least one photo out of this. Otherwise, this will never be seen. But I'll keep going. Well, I think I found something. I was almost giving up hope, and I'm not sure this is gonna work, but it is pretty interesting. Let me turn the camera around and show you what I am looking at. So there is this kind of pretty yellow tree, and it's contrasted nicely against some darker green rocks back there and some red leaves up on top. It may be framed by these two trees on either side. I'm gonna walk around. I may want to, shoot it from over here, this way. But from this angle, the background is darker. So this may be the shot here. Let me get my camera out and give it a try. Well, I'm not sure if that's any good. You've seen it. I'll put it up. I put up even the fails. So I did underexpose a little bit, so those yellow leaves, which were a little brighter than the background, popped. And I darkened the top a little bit again to make that tree pop a little bit. And I'm heading, I think, in the right direction. In other words, I'm heading back towards the car, but it's a really warm morning and I am working up a bit of a sweat. And I'm starving, so I'll keep going. So really the reason I came out today was sort of inspired yesterday. It was a foggy day yesterday, and I literally just drove down my street. I recently moved, and the area where I live now is quite wooded. And so I went and got these shots just down the street from me, which I thought were pretty good, great colors. And then from my house, from my photo studio, I took this picture looking down into a stream that runs in the back of our house. And so I thought, gee, if there's another foggy day, I should get out and do some shooting. So that's why I'm here. Well, I just met a really nice man and a beautiful dog named Widget. A Dalmatian, a liver spot Dalmatian. Friendly, beautiful. But I stopped because something kind of caught my eye. I don't know if it's gonna work. Let me turn the camera around. I'll show you what I'm looking at and see if it makes any sense. Maybe I'll talk through it and see if I even bother getting my camera out. So I passed this tree. Yeah, you can't tell by the video, but the trunk here is fairly green. And you get a nice contrast of these yellow leaves that have settled in this crevice here. I thought that might make a good shot. I'm gonna shoot it, probably just handheld because I don't want to bother getting my tripod set up. And I'll put it up, and if it's a fail, it's a fail. But again, you get your camera here, you see something interesting, you might as well give it a shot. Well, I think one of the problems I'm facing is there's really not enough fog. The forecast called for fog, but it's not too foggy here. And the fog, what that does is provides you with more separation. It kind of blurs out the background, lets you focus on a subject, tree, a group of trees. So we'll see, maybe it gets foggy a little later, I'm not sure. There's other places I can go around here to find fog, but I think that's the big challenge right now. Well, I walked down to the stream and there's some rocks I can come out on, but if you look downstream, I see some nice colors, some nice light, and some trees that kind of bend in towards the river. And I'm thinking that might make an interesting composition. So, I'm gonna set up and see if I can get this. Well, I set up on these rocks, and I'm getting a shot I really like. One of my goals, though, is there are some floating leaves that are coming down the river, and I want to use a long exposure to capture kind of the streaks of the leaves coming down the river. The problem I'm having is there's a big reflection from the sky back there, and if you can kind of tell. And so what I'll try to do is use a polarizing filter, which I typically don't use, but I'm going to, and see if that works. So a little trial and error on my end. Well, the polarizer helped a little bit. I'll show you the before and after. So here is without the polarizer. You get some pretty notable glare in the water. Here's with the polarizer, much less glare. So it does help. It's not perfect, and part of the issue is my composition. I wish I was out more in the middle of the river, but I don't have my hip waders with me, so I'm staying dry. Well, I was just making my way kind of back towards the parking lot, which goes down the river, and I came across a spot which got some pretty nice algae covered, or moss covered I should say, rocks with some golden leaves on them with the river in the background. Here, let me turn the camera around, I'll show you what I'm looking at. So here are these rocks, beautiful color, green, with again yellow and orange leaves on top of them. It goes back out to the river. Not the best view of the river, but there are some nice colors back there. That, the area here with those trees is quite a bit brighter than the rocks, so I may use a couple shots and blend them together. I don't think a neutral density filter or graduated filter would help me much, so I'll play around. My camera has a pretty good dynamic range, so I could always get one shot and just pull up the shadows and bring down the highlights. Well, I had to take two pictures anyway because there's a big distance between these rocks in the foreground and those trees in the background. So I took a shot with the foreground rocks in focus and exposed well, a second shot with the background trees in focus and exposed well, and maybe I'll do a mid-range shot as well, but I'll blend them together in Photoshop and hopefully create something really nice, because I really like the composition. Well, I think that was a good shot by the water. Again, you've seen it. I haven't, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it was a pretty good one. That does it for me. I'm gonna head back to the car. Hey, if you like this video, it does help the channel just to give me a like. It doesn't cost anything. And if you like this kind of content, landscape, architecture, cityscape, occasional Photoshop tutorials, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos. And until next time.